Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, March 3rd, around noontime, Mountain Time, 2023. Hail pummeled San Antonio. Here you're looking at pictures from Dilley, a town that got hit with baseball-size hail yesterday. But the big story, graphics are showing totals of snowfall in California of over 50 feet, with more expected. Keep calm. It's boom time. Now, with 50 feet of snow in the Sierras, if there is a rain or melting event that rapidly occurs in the spring, there could be trouble. And this is record-breaking snow. Let's take Tahoe, for instance. They haven't seen this much snow since 1969. Tahoe is just short of doubling its average of 10.7 feet for this point in the water year, with a report of 21.3 feet. And the snow water equivalent along the entire crest, 151% of average in the North Sierra, 196% of average in the Central Sierra, and 231% of average in the Southern Sierra as of today. Hey, and the rest of the West is looking like the best. Almost every region is coming in at 100% or higher in snow water equivalent, and the most needed moisture down here in the far Southwest, in the desert here, they are looking at some spectacular record numbers. And with California's snowpack, like we just said, there could be a risk from a rain on the snow, and that would be ideal for, well, epic flooding. So buckle up for a few weeks from now. Snowy weekend results in 3 avalanche deaths in southern Colorado, bringing it to a record level of 7 at this time of the year. And the avalanche warning is high, so make sure you know what you're doing when you go in the backcountry. Now, there is a severe weather outlook for South Carolina for Friday afternoon, as well as generally the Southeast. Dallas-Fort Worth power outages were widespread yesterday with tornado damage in Shreveport and hail. And the severe weather sirens even went off in downtown Dallas yesterday. Let's see if we can hear them. There they are. So if you didn't know what those were, I'm sure that would be quite chilling. And severe weather indeed, there were shaking. A family recalls a scary night after hail damages their Dilley home. Look at that. The home was completely battered, and windshields were battered by hail that ranged from quarter size to baseball size. And the biggest hit regions were Dilley, Timberwood Park, and New Braunfels amongst the hardest hit, and they got clobbered. Some cars were a complete loss. Look at all the dents on that. So our thoughts, our hearts, and prayers go out to the people in the affected region. With more than 300,000 without power last night, 120,000 without power this morning, more severe storms threaten, more tornadoes and flooding across the South. But if we look at the latest update from Power Outage US, you're going to see a great recovery here in Texas. Texas just has 70,000 without power, but as the storm moves east, it's now affecting Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi as well, with a total of just around 150,000 without power in those regions. Now here's the forecast. Strong storm affecting the east. Next storm approaching the west. A powerful storm will continue to affect the eastern third of the country with severe thunderstorms, strong winds, and heavy snow. This storm will exit the northeast corridor by Saturday evening. Another storm system approaching the west coast will bring additional heavy precipitation, especially for the higher terrain with more snow in the forecast. The snow tracks into the northern plains by Sunday, which will be your fun day. Let's take a look at the thermodynamics, because the rest of March, well, it is not going to be warm. The people that have been enjoying the warmth in the southeast, that is going to end pretty soon, and there's almost nothing warm happening after March 7th. The cold will even penetrate all the way into Florida by mid-March. Here you can see the thermodynamics showing just hovering in the 40-degree zone for much of the southeast all the way through mid-March, and then a cool down here. Look at how cool it's getting here as we progress into March. It is going to be a chilly northeast. Yeah, the northeast is going to be in chill down mode by mid-March, so buckle up. That means the snow is going to continue to fall in record proportions. Here is your Friday. There's the system moving up into the northeast as another one dips down in the west. Through Saturday morning, we should be seeing a heavy swath of snow through southern Michigan there, up to 16 inches predicted, and that's going to move into the lake effect regions, northern Pennsylvania, most of New York State, and the entire Northeast. Take a look at those totals through the end of the weekend. By Sunday, heavy snow will be moving down the Sierras once again, bringing up to 4 feet of snow near Tahoe and breaking more records. This is just through Monday. Tuesday, another system moves through the Northeast, and we are off to the races. Take a look. Look at that. That is the model through March 19th. We could see some more heavy systems moving through, and this could be, well, a spring to remember. Seismic update. We have some activity in Hawaii. The biggest quake that could be potentially triggered by the coronal hole watch here is 6.5 in Vanuatu, originally popping off at 6.8 and then downgraded. No other activity here. We have an unfortunate 5.0 aftershock happening in Turkey and probably rumbling some nerves. Look at how quiet the U.S. is. All is quiet in the U.S. Worldwide volcano news update. We've got regular activity worldwide as far as volcanoes, nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, we are experiencing an X flare as we are recording. It is now at X2 and still rising. We had 2 M flares earlier today, and now there is an X flare happening. Now, the 2 M flares that happened in the last 24 hours here, an M3.8 followed by an M3.3, were all produced by AR 3234, and it continues to produce occasional M flares. If this is in fact the one that just produced the X flare, there is no threat to Earth, even if there is a coronal mass ejection. But we are now currently live experiencing an X flare, quite a large one. It's just topped out and curved over the cusp there. It's now at X1.2. And so we are now experiencing an X flare as we record. Quite exciting when things like this happen. So we're going to be waiting for some updates on that, and we'll update you later tonight, let's say on magnetic reversal news, if we need to, on what's happening there. As far as the 3-day geomagnetic forecast, there is a low-level geomagnetic storm forecast between the 4th and the 5th here, Saturday night, Sunday morning, maybe. This has to do with that coronal hole coupling with us. And now we have, well, an X flare. That's pretty cool stuff. And I can't even find the X flare anymore. Let's go back and let's refresh it. This is showing X 2.0 at the max. And yes, it's confirmed X 2.0 from 3234. So that's that departing sunspot. Let's look at the latest HMI so we can get a better idea. So it's all the way here on the limb and it blows out an X flare. That's where we've been seeing them happen. And so this one is going to be shooting away from the Earth, but we do have some activity. Again, it is solar max, and we should be seeing X flares. In fact, we are. Another X flare coming off the sun live while we do the report. How exciting is that? Let's take a look at the telemetry one more time. Yeah, we can definitely see that that has curved, and that event is over. It's appearing to be impulsive as well, but we won't really know for another hour or so. So stay tuned for some more updates over at Magnetic Reversal News. Moving on to more science. Boy, that was exciting. Peruvian man found carrying a mummy at least 600 years old is looking at years in prison. He claims it was his girlfriend. This is really creepy. There's the mummy. A 600 to 800-year-old mummy, obviously illegally attained here. And you're not allowed to be carrying around this type of stuff. The guy got pulled over for drinking a beer, and then they looked in the case and found the mummy. And he went to jail. So the moral of the story is, don't steal mummies and don't carry them around with you. Now, a scan discovers a sealed 30-foot-long hallway inside the Giza Pyramid. This is a new discovery in a paper coming out. Egypt's antiquities authorities on Thursday unveiled a new discovery, a sealed-off chamber inside one of the Great Pyramids at Giza, just outside of Cairo, that dates back, according to the experts, 4,500 years. We believe otherwise. Now, the corridor on the northern side of the Pyramid of Khufu was discovered using modern scanning technology. It measures nearly 30 foot in length, is over 6 feet wide, and perched above the main entrance to the pyramid. Now, the question is, will they go in and look at it, or will it forever be a mystery, like everything else they hide from us? Well, one thing that's not hidden any longer is a massive Arctic creature spotted for the first time in 25 years on the Scottish coast. And take a look. A fisherman in Hebrides spotted the Arctic creature sunbathing on the rock, the area's first walrus sighting in 25 years. And let's take a look at the giant beast, shall we? Look at that walrus. Now, you should never interact with walruses, first of all, because they could eat you, maim you, and kill you in a moment's notice. But you can also affect the health of the walrus. They need to recover after long swims, and you may be putting their health at risk. So please don't feed the walruses with yourself. Now, scientists discover an amazing 3,500-year-old bear perfectly preserved in the Siberian permafrost. And it's not the bear you're looking at. This picture is, in fact, a bear waking up after winter hibernation. But the perfectly preserved 3,500-year-old bear is real. And in fact, it's a female brown bear found perfectly preserved for 3,460 years, according to the researchers at Northeastern Federal University. The bear is estimated to be 5 feet tall and weigh 172 pounds. The scientists named the bear after the Bolshoi Etherican River, naming it the Etherican brown bear. This is for the first time a carcass with soft tissue has fallen into the hands of scientists, giving them the opportunity to study the internal organs and examine the brain of a 4,000-year-old animal. Hello. There we go. The mud is still caked in the toes.
В мире аналогов не имеет. Полная туша ископаемого бурого медведя. Абсолютный возраст 3460 лет. Как известно, до этого находили только кости посткраниального скелета, либо черепа. Поэтому впервые в руки ученых попала туша ископаемого животного с мягкими тканями, что дало нам возможность изучить внутренние органы, извлечь мозг.
And there you can see them dissecting it, so we won't go that's a little bit too much for some people. But if you want to know more, all the links to all the articles that we present and all of our updates are linked below the video, even the video of the 3,500-year-old bear. So go check it out and take a look at this carving. This is just some fun stuff I want to bring to your attention. This carving is over 23 meters high, carved out of a single piece of rock, this mountain. Absolutely insane. This was all done with no wheel and copper chisels. Now, as we wait for a major X-flare to take out the grid potentially, wouldn't it be good to know what is actually happening, what the impacts of severe space weather on the grid are? Well, check out this 2011 paper. We're going to do an expose over at Magnetic Reversal News on it. And in fact, it is looking pretty good for Earth. In fact, we need a very large solar storm to take out most of the grid, which is good news. And another publication here, a 70-page full-color PDF, a newer one from the Royal Academy of Engineering, supports the finding in the original paper, which is 107 pages. Extreme space weather, impacts on engineered systems and infrastructure. So dive in and get knowing. We did a cool show on Kincaid's cave last night. Just a quick synopsis of some of the information that it's out there and the fact that, well, it's probably just a hoax. Did the Smithsonian send their experts to help Kincaid explore its cave? The claim is that up to 40 of them came to help Kincaid. But was there even ever a cave? Go check out the tantalizing legend of Kincaid's cave, linked after this video, and that's a boom to knowledge. Thank you all for watching. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, become a Patreon, support the work we do. We love you. Be safe.